Good evening. This is Dhanashekaran, a retired Deputy Director from Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board. Want to present the ambient air quality status during Deepavali celebrations this year at Delhi. And yesterday I did a presentation on Chennai City. And I took 4 locations and I presented. And I also posted in my LinkedIn. Okay. And also as YouTube, I suppose, so that people can learn also as how to see at the data and what was the quality of the air that was present during Diwali celebrations. So here is another attempt that I would like to take. I would like to present the data of the Deepavali ambient air quality at Delhi. And these are all continuous ambient air quality monitoring data at Delhi taken. And the period of the data set is from 11th November till 14th November 2023. All data is taken from CPCB website, and each data is 15 minutes fine data taken for analysis. I have taken 10 locations for air quality study. With Anand Vihar, Ashok Vihar, Bhavana, DTU, Dwaraka Sector 8, IHBAS, Major Dhyan Chand Stadium, Mandir Marg, Okla Phase 2, and Punjabi Bagh. So I just want to give an overlook as what was the quality of the air during the celebrations from 11th November till 14th November at Delhi. And this is Anand Vihar. And if you see, when I zoom in, the PM 2.5 levels on 11th were around 239. And on 14th, it went around 506. And on 13th, it was around 417 microgram per meter cube. And the standards are 60 microgram per minute, 24 hours rolling average. I did not repeat it. Everybody knows that national ambient air quality standards for PM 2.5 is 60 for 24 hours air quality status. And this is for 3 days, 4 days it was taken. To just give an insight at when and what was the maximum value reached at PM 2.5 at this location is at Anand Vihar is 506 on 14 level. Okay. And with respect to PM 10, it went around 834.80 on 14 level. And thereafterwards reduced. And this peak between these two periods is called the resilience time, which is happening around Delhi. That is, naturally, it comes down a value below 200 at a particular time. Okay. And this is the resilience time for PM 2.5 at Delhi. Okay. So these are all the values for PM 10 and PM 2.5 at Anand Vihar, and followed by the NO levels were very high. Says somewhere around 298, 276, and 289 on these days like 12th and 13th. It was very high. Okay, and SO2 levels were not much. It's less than 10 micrograms per meter cube. So SO2 had not much of an impact at this location. CO, yes, it went up to a level of 4.94 milligram per meter cube. While your standards are about for 1 hour standards, it's for 1 hour and 8 hour standards are 2 milligram and 4 milligram per meter cube respectively. So this is the value that is observed for CO. And NO2, yes, it went up to a level of 65 on 14th. So this is the, and ozone, yes, it was just below 10, and there was no much of an ozone creation during Diwali. The temperature were maximum on that day was somewhere around 27 to 28 degree, and it was around 12:45. It was maximum, and the minimum temperature was recorded as 20.6 degree at 3:45 a.m. So this is the general with meteorological conditions. What was the pollution level at Anand Vihar, Delhi? I would like to present. Secondly, I would like to go to Ashok Vihar, and here the situation is the PM 2.5 level was up to a level of 500 to 600 it went on 13th. And on 14th, it was only 300. So it's a totally different situation from Anand Vihar. And the PM10 went around somewhere around 800 at 13th. And NO was, and NO levels were somewhere around 40 and 50. So it was not as high as found on near 200 to 250 or somewhere what we found out Anand Vihar. It's totally different in this location. But SO2 level was 35. There it was only 10. Here it was recorded as somewhere around 35 micrograms per meter cube. So just a comparative study for each and every locations, how these pollutants behaved in the ambient air. So that is what I just like to educate the people around at what really happened during celebrations and what's really the air quality was during the celebrations. It is not, I'm trying to say about control or anything, but this is what prevailed during the celebrations that I want to give an idea to the people here. While the CO levels on 14th went around 5 milligram per meter cube, and NO2 were somewhere around 45 to 50 microgram per meter cube. Ozone level, nothing much to talk about, less than 7. And the temperature, as I said, played between 20 and 28 degree at this location. Next is Bhavana. Here, the pollution levels went around PM 2.5 went around 400 to 500 on 13th, and 14th it came down, but the maximum level recorded was on 13th, somewhere around 400 to 500. And PM 2.5 around 500 to 600, nearly 600 it went. Thereafter it reduced. So this is what is the observation for PM10 and PM 2.5 at Bhavana. While NO, yes, it's all well between the level of 15. So nothing much happened with respect to NO at this location. But SO2 was also less than 20. So no big concern with respect to NO and SO2. But CO, yes, that was also not of a big concern. It was less than 1.8 milligram per meter cube. NO2 levels were also less than 25. And ozone, yes, here the levels of ozone with respect to temperature, it rised up to a level of 40 microgram per meter cube, 60 and 70, indicating that ozone was formed in this area at a temperature and there were volatiles in this environment. This is one of the indication at Bhavana. But PM10 and PM2.5 levels were somewhere around 400 to 600. That was the level observed at Bhavana. And at DTU Delhi, the values went around, PM 2.5 max was around 13, which went around nearly 500. And PM10 was also somewhere around 500, more or less. But on that day, it showed a reverse thing. PM10 was around 500. PM 2.5 went to peak of 500 and then came down and averaged around 100 to 200. But here it went around 400, stabilized, and then again went up to 500 with respect to PM10. NO was less than 30, SO2 less than 30, CO was found to be also less than 2 milligram. NO2 was very high. Yes, 175 was recorded on 13th. So NO2, PM10 and PM2.5 had some significance in this location. And ozone, yes, they also had some sort of level of 35. Not much to talk about as what prevailed in the previous location, what was observed. So this is what seen at this location at DTU Delhi. Next is Dwaraka Sector 8. Here, the PM10 levels went around 1000. See, for each and every location, there was difference of values and timing. It happened on 13 and went up to a level of 1000 PM 2.5 and PM10 was 800. It looks reverse. Something like, it looks like that paper which is the tapering paper, tape got clogged for PM 2.5 went up to 1000. I feel it that way because that is also a similar thing that is observed at 800. Must be around 600 must be the values at PM 2.5 and 800 at for PM 10. So that must be the actual values which we can take into consideration at this location. NO, yes, it was very high here. It went around nearly 250 to 300 on 14th. And SO2, yes, it went to a level of 100 on 13th. So here firecrackers were bursted, which had sulfur content more, and nitrates were also very high. So NO contents were very high. This is an observation that we can see from this location at Dwarka sector 8. And the CO levels, yes, that also went around 5 milligram, and it went up to 3 on 13th and up to 5 milligram on 14th. And NO2 levels, it went up to a level of 60. And nothing to talk about the temperature, but ozone levels also with the temperature were also found to have formed in this area. So some volatile existence were also there. So ozone to be formed in this location at Dwarka sector 8. Next is Hebas. At this location, we find the PM 2.5 was observed to be around 500 on 13 level, and thereafterwards reduced on 14, while PM 10 was around 800. So on a general, we find 800, 600, 400, location to location, the PM 10 and PM 2.5 levels differed. So that this is one observation that we get. And secondly, NO and NO2 was also totally different. Here, the NO levels were found to be around 80, but in most of the places it was found to be 250 and above. So that is one thing to be noted about. And the SO2 level were around 40 to 60 only. In some places, it was around 100. So sulfur-based crackers and time and nitrate-based crackers were bursted, and it had a particulate matter contribution at the same time with respect to PM 10 and PM 2.5 at this location as Hebas. CO level went high on 14th up to a level of 3.5 to 4. NO2 was around 30, so nothing much to worry about. And ozone level slightly shooted up to 100 and thereafterwards up to 100. So volatiles presence were also one of the factors that can be seen to be a contributor for ozone formation in this location. Mandir Mark, next location. Here the PM 2.5 went up to around 700, 689 it was recorded on 13th. And previous that on 11th it was 171. And so the celebrations time shot up to 500, 689. And later on it reduced, and on 13 level it was 392. And with respect to PM10, it was 807. So 807 and 689 is the observed values, while SO2 was found to be less than 10. So nothing, sulfur-based crackers was not here identified, but NO was very high, 131 and 65 was observed. CO went up to a level of 3. So combustion and NO was found to be. NO2 was also contributed into the environment up to 52, 55, 56 microgram per meter cube. And ozone formation was also observed, but it was very less. It was found to be less than 20. So nothing very big significance formation of ozone was found with respect to temperature at this location at Mandir Mark. So at Major Dhyan Chand Stadium, the values observed were as follows. The PM 2.5 was maximum at 739 on 13 and went around nearly 879 of PM 10 on the same 13th. So that was the peak value on celebration time on 13th. And on 14th, the NO value peaked up to a level of 353. So this peak of 353 of NO is something to be noted about. And SO2 went about 25 only, is nothing to be considered of a very significant value. CO was found to be somewhere around 3.5, 3.8 milligram not much of an attribute, I would say. But NO2 was there, 7256 was observed during the celebration periods. And as usual, ozone was also formed, 7752. So some volatiles were also be present in that ambient air for ozone to be formed this location at Major Dhyan Chand Stadium. And at Okla phase 2, this is the observation. And the PM 2.5 went around, say, around 900, 800 and above. So it's about around 900 it went. And PM 10 was around 649. So must be the same analyzer issue at here with respect to PM 2.5 because it is reversely found. PM10 will naturally be very higher than PM 2.5. So 649 was a recorded value and 378. Here it is something the paper that is reading PM 2.5 must have got clogged. So that is the reason for higher values at this location. And NO values, yes, it went preferably high, around 372 microgram per meter cube. And SO2 was found to be around 140. So it's a clear thing that nitrate-based crackers and sulfur-based crackers were bursted here more at this location at Okla phase 2. And NO2 levels also went up to 160. 158, 115, 109. So these levels also very much increased during the celebration period between 11th to 14th November. And CO also went around 6.5. So this is also a higher indication of combustion that has happened there. And ozone level formation was also there. So indicating that volatiles were also in the environment for ozone to be formed on those celebration days. The last Punjabi Bagh, this is what we have observed. At Punjabi Bagh, the PM 2.5 reached up to a level of 961 and nearly 1000 and 996 for PM 10. It looks like both the analyzer have clogged there and the reading has read to the maximum of 996 and 961 of PM 10 and PM 2.5, which is a wrong value. Naturally, it cannot happen. The pollutants or the paper with a tapered paper which is supposed to move got clogged. That is what's the information that we have with respect to PM 2.5 and PM 10 at Punjabi Bagh. So the value must be something different. It must be somewhere around 746 and 600 or 400 or something like that only. Somewhere around 800 to 400, 50% reduction must be there somewhere with the relativity of PM 2.5 and PM 10 relationship with at Punjabi Bagh. NO levels went up to maximum of 110 on 14th. And SO2, yes, that also went very high on 140, indicating that nitrate and sulfur-based crackers are also bursted in this area. NO2 level went up to 98. And CO, this is a single shot. This is an analyzer issue. It cannot go up to 9 of one shot. So this is an impulse from an analyzer. This can be discarded by taking a reading. It is only somewhere around 1.7 to less than 2. So CO was not much of a concern. NO2 went around 98. Okay, that is to be taken into consideration. And ozone formation was observed on 13th and 14th. So this represents the volatiles to be present, and the temperature at this area was little high. So the volatiles were formed and the nitrates were there and NO was there and sulfates were there. So this is what the inference that parameters read at Punjabi Bagh. I think so. I have completed a 10 location study of the continuous ambient air quality at Delhi. So people can understand at each and every location there was a different situation. And it never reflected the same as happened in another location. And there were sulfur-based crackers and nitrate-based crackers were profoundly used in some location, and those values were indicated during the celebration period. Thank you. Happy Diwali.